This reaction is brought to you by my $5 or more patrons at patreon.com/AlexHeitz. I'd like to thank Manchester Pictures, Identitech, Steve Aldersley, Anthony Coleman, David Dockery, Kurt David, Aubrey Coper, Joe Brown, Mason Frost, Thomas Amos, Andres Glacial, and Biff C for sponsoring this video, supporting the Patreon, the channel, me and my family. Appreciate it highly. I hope you guys enjoy the video. I am tired. Barely slept last night. Wife has been sick. It's been a rough week. I kind of took a couple days off. I was going to record this earlier, but you know what? Things got in the way, but today I'm like, I gotta do it. I gotta do it because only death can hold me back. This is Transient Random Noise Bursts with announcements. Better than without announcements. Second Stereolab album here. We've done Peng, obviously, prior. Not a fantastic album. Fell a little bit flat. There were a couple tracks on it that I did enjoy, or that stood out to me. Super Falling Star, K-Stars, and Surreal Chemist were highlights for me, but on a whole, it just didn't quite come together as an album. If anything, it made me interested for what was coming later, like albums like this. I saw a lot of potential and a lot of interesting things going on with this band. So I'm like, I'm eager to see what comes next, and here we are. So Transient Random Noise Bursts, indie pop, krautrock, post-rock, 62 minutes, 10 tracks. Kind of confused about track 7, Jenny Ondioline, because it's 18 minutes on here. If I click it, it takes me to an EP called Jenny Ondioline that is 18 minutes, 49 seconds, and consists of 4 tracks. So one of which is called Jenny Ondioline. So I don't understand if all 4 tracks got put together and got put on the album as that one track. I don't know. I'm kind of confused about that, but I guess we'll see. So I think we're just going to hop right on into this bad boy. I haven't really heard much of this. I've sampled a couple of the tracks because if you go back on my channel, I did some live streams called Assembling the Best of Years playlist. And it was me and everyone in the live stream watching, and it was kind of a community collective effort to make the best of playlist for like music throughout the years from 1950 to 2020, one song from every year. And we picked Tone Burst, the opening track off of this one, for 1993. We had a lot of other options at our disposal for 1993, obviously, but the way the playlist kind of swung, it made sense to put Tone Burst in. I don't remember what it sounds like, so this will be kind of like a first again, you know? I don't know. Let's just jump right in. Tone Burst. Pretty legit. It's already like a stratospheric step up from the last album. Noisy, chunky, but it also has that like kind of saccharine pop feel to it with the melodies and the chords. Good. I'm vibing. I haven't really been exposed. I just realized I haven't really been exposed to krautrock up until this point. Albums like, was it New has been recommended a lot. Never gotten around to that yet. Is Can considered krautrock? I can't remember. I always get that. I always get like certain bands confused as to which are krautrock, but it's also like a genre that I don't really understand as to like what defines it, you know? Here, just let me click on Wikipedia, see what it has to say. A broad genre of experimental rock that developed in West Germany in late 60s and early 70s. Psychedelic rock, electronic music, and avant-garde influences. New, Can, Faust, Kraftwerk, Cluster. Interesting. Okay, so I can see how this led to things like yeah, post rock as a derivative form. There you go. Interesting. Cool. So our Trinitone Blast. Dang. Um, yeah, very how would you describe it? It's not quite experimental. Art pop, art rock as well, I guess is a good descriptor. Um, kind of a punk energy as well. Had a little bit of an angst to it. Interesting. Yeah, solid. Digging it. Production is also like much cleaner, a lot better. Says yeah, the producers are different from this album and Peng, so I guess that says something. But yeah, this is much crisper. Sounds better. Pack your romantic mind. Beep boop. It's almost like a bossa nova vibe. Fantastic. I love that one. That was a great tone and atmosphere, and like the dynamic shifts worked really well. Like it went from like boom 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 back to like the real do 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 do. Like it somehow that worked. Interesting. Cool. I'm digging it. This is a very compelling album so far. I'm really enjoying it. I'm going out of my way. Sometimes you change the channel to, a different radio station. You just get funny stuff. Um, as that started, I was like, oh, this sounds like something from Pang, where it's just like really simple, almost power poppy. Um, but then it subverted my expectations. Had some cool elements in there. Um, still solid, still solid. I'm liking it. It's very adventurous, and it's pulling from a lot of different things and somehow making it all work. And I find that very interesting. Yeah, this is definitely light years above Peng. Um, it's good. It's good. Golden Ball. Happens to the best of us. So a very like I wouldn't say one note song, but it was very kind of like simple. You know, it was groove based. It was kind of you weren't jumping around everywhere. You were kind of on a very simple arc throughout the song. Um, but man, that production is thick and chunky. I can see the post rock angle of this album as well. You might hear my son crying. He's been a whiny little. Anyway, the production is really crisp on this album, and I can definitely hear that post rock angle, especially with that track. And like because the production is so crisp, the playing seems to be a lot better here too. If that song was on Pang, it probably would have been boring. But like here, that was actually a very engaging 7-minute track. Really solid. Pause. Interesting. What would you call that? It's almost like a sound collage kind of track. I'm not normally into that kind of a thing, but it didn't feel long. It's an interesting listen. Okay, 18 minutes. Jenny and Ondioline. Wow, that was great.
Is out.
I'm really confused because you go onto the wiki for this song, the EP, that's 18 minutes 49 seconds. It lists the tracks as Jenny, Fruition, Golden Ball, French Disco. And the Golden Ball is 6 minutes 26 seconds. The Golden Ball on this album is 6:52. But I didn't hear anything in that song that sounded like the Golden Ball that I just heard. So if anyone knows what the hell is going on there, please tell me because I'm kind of confused. Certain parts of that I liked, certain parts I didn't. It was kind of long, sort of a weird anomaly. It just kind of really sticks out like a sore thumb. I don't think it's bad, but it might be like a weird speed bump in the pacing of the album. But let's continue. Analogue Rock. The hard panning is kind of weird. I liked the song, but it was kind of unpleasant to listen to with headphones. The hard panning is really weird, and it was kind of like unsatisfying to listen to. But in mono, I'd probably dig that, or on like speakers. Crest, not Colgate. It's a cool little post rock tune. It's kind of like it sort of started with the more popular stuff, and like after Golden Ball, it's gotten a lot more like post rocky. Yeah, solid. Last track, everybody. Lock Groove Lullaby. There it is. Transient random noise burst with announcements. Great. I dug it quite a bit. Least favorites are probably Jenny, Ondioline, and Analogue Rock. Followed closely by maybe Pause, just because it was sort of like a sound collage thing, which I'm not super into, but it was cool. Yeah, everything else, Tone Burst or Trinitone Blast, Pack Your Romantic Mind, I'm Going Out of My Way, Golden Ball, Crest, and that last track, Lock Groove Lullaby. All interesting. The production is crisp, chunky. It had, like I said, it kind of pulled from various things, especially in the first half, that were that shouldn't have worked as well as they did. But it really, really came together. Yeah, compelling, good. I don't really know what else to say. I'm just really eager to get to even more because, like, that was such a step up from Peng, obviously, that I'm just really eager to see, like, what they do next. And I know that, like, for a long time, Dots and Loops has been recommended to me, like, way back early on into my reacting career, if you'll call it that. That comes in 1997, and it's categorized as, like, easy listening. And when I sampled it for like a little bit, way back in the day, like the track I picked sounded kind of like elevator music-esque. And I was like, well, that's interesting. And then I remember listening to this when I was doing, our playlist live streams, with like tone bursts. And I was like, well, that's completely different. So they're not so far like super eclectic and esoteric and varied, but, definitely with this one, they've stepped up their game and they're pulling from a lot of different kind of genres and tones and moods, and it worked way better than it had any right to. So there you go. There is that down. Next one, of course, will be Mars. How do you say that? Audaic Quintet. I don't know. Right now we're alternating Stereolab and Led Zeppelin. So next one I'll do will be Led Zeppelin 3, and then we'll go to Mars. Audacity quintuplets. Anyway, that's that. For those of you who don't know, I do follow-up videos. Usually about a week to 2 weeks after I listen to an album, I'll post a follow-up video just kind of explaining my current feelings on the album, my final feelings after all the dust has settled and I've had time to kind of sit with the music a little bit longer. Sometimes albums don't quite hit me in the moment and then they grow on me. Sometimes they diminish over time. So if you're not subscribed, subscribe, hit the bell, and then watch that video when it comes out. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more Stereolab, because I will be going all the way up through Cobra and Phases. Patreon.com/AlexHeitz. Every 3 to 5 albums going through these artists and bands, I'll do a poll album where I have people on my Discord pick 4 albums, and then those albums get voted on my Patreon. My patrons vote which one they want me to hear. So if you want to be able to partake in that and kind of, contribute to the community and what I'm listening to, head on over to the Patreon. Link is in the description. All you need is $1 a month to vote in those polls. Also, my Discord, link in the description. Right now, we're currently trudging our way through a album cover bracket elimination tournament. That's been really fun, and we're getting into kind of the last third of that, and it's like the heavy hitters are going up against each other, so that's been really fun too. I think that's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that my tiredness and my achiness and hopefully not sickness didn't bring this one down. My Led Zeppelin 2 video was kind of like, I was sort of catatonic through the whole thing and it wasn't a great video. So I hope this one was a little bit better. Yeah. Anyway, I'll catch you guys next time. Godspeed.